Alright, good morning guys. Now we're back to our little bit of intersection of solids here. And we're going to do a nice little simple one here to get us going. Okay? This one here is going to ask us to draw an end view. So we're going to pick this one here. End view. You could have done the other one, but we may as well all do the same one so it all kind of makes sense. And of course we'll do our projections across and up, like we normally do. Now, this is just a triangular, there's an equilateral triangle in the question, going right down through a hexagonal prism. So we want to begin to know what are we talking about and how are we piecing this together. So let's put a few little labels on it. So step one is labels. All right. This, by the way, is on page 178, I believe. Yes, 178. All right. So I'm going to call the triangle 1, 2, 3. So that's, of course, ends of 1 and 1, straight up there. That's the ends of 3 and 3. And that's the ends of 2 and 2. I have a hexagonal prism, and I like to use a little bit of a different variation on these guys. So I'm going to call them A, B, C, D, E, and F. Ooh, F over here. Okay? Which means, of course, there they are down the bottom. Now, I would normally call that line AA, just otherwise we're going to have all the letters of the alphabet on it. There's a few more to come still. So that's, of course, B and F. There and there. On this line, so that's B and F here. C and E on this line. C and E. And D. Okay, we'll pop this onto our drawing later on, but I just want to explain to you how I'm kind of setting this up. And the final thing we're going to need to do is we're going to look at what we call bend points. So if you look at this drawing, something is going to happen here. This flat horizontal surface, there it is going to go downwards. And we're going to see a bend point in our intersection. So we're going to label the bend points. And again, we'll just jump a bit in the alphabet. So I am going to use PQ or an S like they do in your book in case you want to reference it. Okay, we'll worry about where they are on that one afterwards. Okay, I mean, you might spot there at those points, but again, don't worry about that for the moment. So this is our setup, our label, and how we're going to do it. Now, at a glance, you think, fabulous, a nice easy hexagonal prism, but there is a little bit of thinking to be done as to how to draw this. So let's go do it now. Okay, so we'll stick an XY line in here. It's not super high, so I'll put it up there, up on a page a bit. Okay, there's my XY line. Well, dirty little bastards didn't give us the length of the edge, which is what we love in easy. Instead, they gave us the total height. So, well, let's draw that in. Let's see what our total height is going to be. We can put a construction line across. So there it is, 75. And let's just project that. Oh, wait, because we'll need it for the end view as well. So what can we do? All right, well, there's a few different ways we can piece this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a triangle from F to C to B. And I know that the angle here is going to be 60 degrees. Same as the angle here. And with that, the whole thing is going to come together. So I'm just going to choose a point for F anywhere. There we go, leave a bit of space on the edge of the page. And that is F. Well, that means B is up here. And it means, more importantly, that C is over here. There's C. Well, we know that E is going to be directly below C. There's E. And if we look at A and D, well, it goes out at that angle. Comes down from C at 60 degrees. So there it is. There's D. We need to heavy this in. Equally, comes up at 60 degrees and it comes down. So I'm sure there are other ways that we could have done this, and that's fine. The hexagons tend to have loads of solutions to them, but this is the one that kind of occurred to me. And it's, again, with hexagon, often most of the solutions are about as hard as each other, so it's no big deal. There we go. So we'll just heavy this in as we go along. A little bit of a good habit to heavy as you go, because sometimes you forget them at the end. Often it makes life a bit easier figuring things out anyway. Okay, so let's come down. I'll just drop a line down from A. Now A, as you can see, I made a tiny slip at A. So I'm just going to double check I have it in the right place by coming across from D, just to tighten it all up a little bit. So we'll project down there, and if we have a look at this, well, 1920 is 110, 20 mil gap, and there we go. So we'll line this up as 130. There we are, 20, 0. Okay, send that across. And we just project everything down now, and we'll build up the plan. Heavy outline. Now, I don't project these lines down, but I'm only going to leave these as constructions for the moment because the equilateral triangle is going to cut away on it. Okay. Right, so what else do we know? Well, that's grand. Let's find our triangle. Point 1 we're given dimension for, that's what the 20 mil is for. 8 in from the edge, we find this. We're going up at 15 degrees. So we'll just do a little construction line there. Measure on this guy. That's where 1 is. Okay, coming up at 15 degrees, our best friend, the protractor. Here we go. Now, small little tip on this one, stick it on the T-square, and you can line up this little point there and just slide it across. It's a bit easier to work with. All right, and there we are, 0, 10, 15. And we can just put that as a construction line. And we're told there's an equilateral and the edges are 75, so that's kind of handy. There is the end there. And as you pop this in, like, do keep an eye on the original drawing. Is that in roughly the right place? And actually, that looks pretty good. And that's where 2 is. There's a few ways you can do the rest of it. I would usually find the easiest way to solve this one is with your compass. So just get that just right. There we go. So 2 arcs like that. Pretty much the handiest way to finish off an equilateral triangle. So that's point 3 up there. And now we'll connect the dots. So this is a heavy line. You can see that from the initial drawing. Here we go. And we'll put in the other heavy lines. Okay, so that's line A, that's B and F, keep saying C, B and F on this line here, because it's B at the top and F at the bottom, C and E, C and E, and D and T. Okay, so we did also talk about our bend points. So before I do that, let's finish our given drawing. Let's throw in this little dotted line there. That's the hidden line of the cut. 3 is going to be here. And just again a little bit of housekeeping, because sometimes you can jump on, skip these bits, and you get stuck later on, and it's easier to troubleshoot a tricky thing when you're stuck, but it's actually quite annoying to troubleshoot a very simple little omission. Okay, so I can see that it's going to be 2 and 2 going there, 3 and 3 there, and 1 and 1. All right. Okay, finally, our bend points. So we decided that would be P, Q, R, and S. Okay, and we'll see that up there. I won't label them for the moment in the elevation. Okay, start projecting. So this is my favorite little projection one. There's the 45 coming out like that, crossing up. If you like 45 the other direction, that's fine. You're big boys and girls. You can make that decision for yourself. If you like to use a compass, reject that instead. You're a fool. Don't do that. It's upsetting. It'll go wrong. It'll annoy you. Okay. There we go. Up here. Again, I'm not measuring any of those gaps, any of these distances here. I'm projecting everything. So let's have a little think on this one. We're looking in this way. And we're looking this way to see my end view. All right, I'm going to see those two edges. All right, so we can pop that up there. And there we go, yeah. And I'll see that edge. Again, if you're not sure about seeing those ones, don't worry about it for the moment. It's not the end of the world. We'll see this edge the whole way across. All right. So there we go. And as we see, that's going to be point A and D and A and D. Okay, and it might get cut along the way, so I'm not going to go heavy on it yet. We'll think about that in a moment. And that's F and E going across the bottom. And that's B and C going across the top. Okay, so no point in kind of going in with those ones. Well, let's see where to start, and it's kind of up to us and see what makes sense, really. Maybe we'll start with 1. So let's figure out where point 1 is. So we'll send it across. I am not a fan of projecting everything and then trying to piece it together. Way too many ways for that to go wrong. So 1 is going to go across from there on up, and we can see that 1 exists at this point, and just be kind of careful, it's there at that point there. So a little dot there and there, and there's 1 and 1. Okay, 2. Now as you do this, it's a very sunny day today, which is lovely for the camera quality, but I do need to watch it because if the clouds go in, it will all go to hell. There we go. Oops. Shouldn't really have gone beyond that. We'll project up for 3. Okay, and that's fine. 3 is up there, and 3 is down here. Now, I haven't decided what this is going to look like yet. I'm not even thinking about it too much for the moment. It's difficult. This is not a, super complicated piece, and yet even still, it is tricky to picture exactly what it's going to look like. Now, a lot of you can probably do it, but what I kind of say to you is, why bother when it is difficult and easy to go wrong? Well, if we approach this with logic as a little puzzle, it's easier for us to do it right. So that's 1, 2. Okay, those are all our bits and pieces there. Now, the next thing we need to do is bring the bend points across. Okay, so let's start with P. Bring this chappy across here. And up. Now, earlier on, I didn't kind of go off and figure out where they were on this one. So let's see, what do we actually know about our different bend points? Well, P it's on BB and FF. Okay, so it exists. So again, there's a P that's high and there's a P that's low, just like there's a 1 that's high and a 1 that's low. So the first one is on the line BB, this top edge. The second is down there. So that's where we actually know where they are. So can we come across? P is going to be there. Okay, and there. All right. Repeat. Q. Q is the same, again, high and low. There it is, there and there. Or. And this is the real kind of key bit we'll need to watch as we piece this together. Okay, how do we take those bend points? And all we're doing is we're taking information. It's like our loci problem. I know that OR is on line CC. Okay, and there's line CC. Projects across, and there it is. Equally, I know it's on line EE at the bottom. So there it is. There's something weird going on about how to connect them. Turns out that's going to be easy to solve, but we're not going to do it yet. And finally, we look at S, which is this chap here. Now, watch these ones. When they hit a line at such an angle, it's very easy to put them off. So just be very, very careful as to how you pick up that point. All right. S, again, it's going to be up on that one. Okay. Now, we have all of that. Let's just check our exposure, and we're looking good. Let me check our framing. Perfect. Okay. How does this go together? And this is really the difference between making it really hard and really easy. Okay, So our next little point, I'll just write it on this one so we can see it. 3 is find the sequence. 4, by the way, is hidden or visible. Come back to that afterwards. So find the sequence. My sequence, as I go around this, is from 1 to P, to Q, 2 to OR, to 3, to S, and back to 1. Okay, that is the sequence. And you can start at any point. It doesn't really matter which we start at 1 or 2 or 3, but once we know the way they all connect. Now, let's go and have a look at this. What does that look like over here? Well, I'll do this all as construction lines for the moment because the hidden stuff will come in afterwards. 1 to P. There we go. P to Q. Q to 2. Okay, now I know I do have 2s and so on. This is where we need to just bring a little bit of our visualization skills. We can see that there is going to be a top and a bottom cut. Okay, as I imagine, there's going to be a cut on the face AB and the face CD. Okay, and that's going to be up here. And there's going to be an equal cut on the bottoms, which is the DE face and the AF face. And that's all going to be the same on the bottom. Okay, so we have a cut on bottom and a cut on the top. That's how I know that I'm connecting this one to this P instead of this one to that P. Okay, we got to 2. What was next? Q was next. Sorry. I went from 1 to P to Q to 2 to OR. There it is there. OR goes to 3. Where is 3 hiding? 3 is all the way over here. Oh, this is going to get weird, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to cross to 3. Then I'm back to S. So I'm back to here. And then I'm back to 1, which is over to there. Well, doesn't that look fun? Okay, so what have we got? Yep, happy with that. Now, let's do the same on the top. 1 to P. Too many shadows there. 1 to P, to Q, to 2. At this stage, you're really getting almost all of the marks. Back up to OR. Cross to 3, back to S, back to 1. Okay, and we should be seeing a symmetrical pattern on a symmetrical shape like this. So again, that's your little cross check. Did I do something weird or funky? Okay, now we can still see that all nice and neatly. What can we see? What can we not? Now, step 4. This is one people worry about. It's actually, there's not as many marks as you have gotten really far this stage so far. We're looking in this way to see this end view. Well, I can definitely see edge AA. I can see it in this one here, really clear. So let's pop that in. Okay, what else can I see? I can see the bit from B to S. All right, that's going to be visible. So let's go, which B am we looking at? It's going to be this section of it, because it's that section of it. So B to S, there we go. All right, and equaling, it's going to be symmetrical on the bottom. I can see F to S. Okay, I can also see this other bit here. I'm just doing the easy bits for the moment. Yes, I will see that edge because that's going to be down the slope. So P to B. Okay, so we're kind of getting some of these bits and pieces together. What about if we look right across? Well, some of these will extend a little bit. So see the way I can actually see that whole 1C to OR there. So this will actually go the whole way across to OR. Well, it's not too big a deal. Like, don't worry about having to hit this first the right time. I prefer to be methodical and accurate than jump around it. And the same thing here. Actually, that one's going to go to Q. So we can bring these along a little bit. You can see the way I'm thinking about it. All right, so let's have a peek at our exposure. We're all still happy. There we go. Okay, now what else can we see? Well, let's think about how this might look And I'm going to take this top face here first because I can see it's just a bit more easily. I should see the line P to Q, P to 1. Okay, so there it is there. I'll see that line. That's that cut going out there. And then I'll see the line going across to S as a heavy line. And there it is there. So that's the bit that I'm going to see cutting away in this. And if we just grab ourselves a little orange pencil. I have a green pencil hiding somewhere on this desk. It's run away to join the circus. So, but what we can see is that it's this overall surface here. Okay. That shape all around there is this surface. All right. And now that I have that one, I'll do the symmetrical one on the bottom. And there we go. Because equally, I know I can see it because I'm looking this way and I'll see it down there. Okay. What next? All right. Well, I will see a little bit of this, guys. So what's going to go on here? I'll look through this and I'm going to see this is falling away here because it's going down this side, going down to there. So I'll see to there and then it's going to get hidden. And you can kind of see this makes sense here. It comes down from Q towards 2. I'll see it there and then it will be hidden. And now you can see the other side of it's going to make sense. I'll see that. And it's hidden there. And I do have an orange one, which will just do a little bit of colouring inside here. And this bit here. And this bit here are the inside surfaces, okay? They're the ones we're going to see in on that face there. So just say that's the inside. And now we have it. We can see the same pattern on the bottom. And it becomes kind of clear. You'll have a point where you realize, oh yes, that's it. In most drawings. And there'll be one or two that you're going to love. I think I have that one scheduled for you on Monday. And there's a heavy bit there. Okay, so again, just to give you a little bit of an idea, that's the inside surface there. That's a gap. There's nothing there. And this is the bottom face. Now you guys don't need to shade it. I'm just doing this to give you a little bit of an idea to try and help see what's actually going on. Okay, the key here is I didn't get too worried about it. Okay, label everything to know what we're doing. Pick off your bend points. Okay, you'll almost definitely have bend points in an exam question. The sequence is the key to making this easy or hard. And then hidden or visible, just work through it step by step by thinking, I'm looking at the elevation to see the end view this way, so I can see that, or I'm looking at the plan, and those things begin to get easier and easier. The more you solve, the easier the rest of it gets. All right, good luck.